The sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow.
This is not a video I ever wanted to have to make, and I was really hoping I wouldn't, but here we are. We have canceled our Disney trip for May of this year. So obviously things are looking pretty bad right now. Things are pretty grim, and the Walt Disney World company has announced that the parks will be closed until March 31st of 2020. Today is March 23rd, and it's really not looking like they're going to be reopening. So we've been put in a really tough decision of trying to figure out if our trip would be going ahead on May 13th. May 12th is when I would have traveled down to London to spend the night before flying to Orlando. And we've been monitoring for weeks now everything that's been going on and trying to make the best decisions that we could regarding COVID-19 and all of the isolation and regulations surrounding it. So as we're getting closer, it seems like we're getting closer to the point that a decision needed to be made. When I say we, I mean my family and I, have no expectation whatsoever that the parks will open on April 1st. Disney hasn't even said that they will open on April 1st. They just said that they will be closed until March 31st. But I expect that either tonight or tomorrow there will be an update from the Walt Disney Company, maybe extending that closure another 2 weeks. I think it would be pretty big if they extend it a full month. I think they're going to try and keep it to as small of increments as possible. But we were in a really tough position with our trip because we were using our DVC points that were banked from when we purchased our contract. So we have a September use year, which means that all points have to be used by August 31st of that year. If they're that year's points, they can be banked. But for us, they've already been banked, so it is not legally possible for us to bank them again. Despite the fact that all this is going on and the circumstances are a bit different, there's still no way around this rule. I have checked 1,000 times. I have followed all the Facebook pages. Anyone that's using banked points towards the end of their use year, if your trip is canceled, you forfeit those points. So that's us. That's our position, or that was our position as of 2 days ago. So because of that, we realized that if we don't take a trip by August 31st, we will lose 123 points, which is well over $1,000 worth of points. And basically, as we were, getting closer and closer to when a decision would need to be made, I've been watching the DVC site and watching all the available rooms and watching places get booked up over the summer as people cancel their March trips and move them down the road. So we haven't been forced to cancel our trip yet. As far as we know, the Disney parks are only closed until March 31st. But like I said, we don't expect them to be opening on April 1st. And if everything goes the way that scientists and the World Health Organization and the CDC are predicting it, we'll have at least 8 weeks of more self-isolation and lockdown regulation. So that would put Disney opening mid-May at best. And even if they did open, there would still be the possibility that I would not be able to leave the United Kingdom, that my flight would not be going, and I'd have to forfeit the trip. So as we watched the availability for summertime rooms before August 31st get less and less, we realized that we needed to make a decision fairly quickly, and ideally before the next bout of closures are announced, because once that happens, presumably more people will then go in and push their trips back. So that being said, we have canceled our May trip, which killed me to do. We've rescheduled. We're going the last week in July. If things are back up and running, we fully understand that there is the possibility that they won't be. We fully understand that this crisis might continue and that the ramifications on the travel and tourism industry could be very long-reaching and cause sort of long-term damage to the airlines, which means we wouldn't be going, but we're trying. And that's all we can do. So yeah, canceling May was really hard. We had 2 separate reservations, so we were going to be staying at Copper Creek for 4 nights, which is our home resort, and then Bay Lake Tower. I scored a standard view studio room, which are really hard to come by if you don't own there. So we were really looking forward to that. I think the hardest part of rescheduling was the fact that we're not getting those same rooms. There was nothing available at Wilderness Lodge, there's nothing available at Bay Lake Tower, so we sort of had to modify our plans. So as far as trip announcements go, I guess I have a new trip announcement for July. So we have moved our reservation. The difficult part is that summer is more expensive point-wise than May, so we had to kind of play around to make sure that we would get the same amount of nights. We have managed to get a 4-night stay in a Savannah View studio at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which I've stayed there before, so it doesn't actually help with my like staying in new resorts, but I love Animal Kingdom Lodge, so I'm not upset about that at all. We're gonna try and schedule some time that we can actually just spend in the room and at the lodge looking at the animals, because that's what you have to do when you have a Savannah View room. And then we are currently scheduled to stay 3 nights at Saratoga Springs in a standard studio, not in one of the preferred ones. But I've also waitlisted Old Key West, both near the hospitality house and not. Just because I know that the standard rooms at Saratoga Springs haven't been refurbished yet, so I'd like to stay in one of the refurbed ones. My sister just did in January and it was really nice. But we've never been to Old Key West. None of us have ever tried it, so we're gonna give that one a go if we can get in. So we have 7 nights guaranteed. Where we're gonna be staying at the end, whether it's Saratoga or Old Key West, is up in the air, but it doesn't really matter. They're pretty close to each other, so we're just gonna make points surrounding that. One thing I did do when I became increasingly concerned that our trip was gonna get canceled in May is I actually went ahead and I made all the same dining reservations that we had for July, for the week that we would be going if we had to reschedule. So I did this probably 10 days ago. I did it quite early. And fortunately, I was able to get every single reservation that we had, plus or minus half an hour in terms of scheduling. So we were able to keep Beaches and Cream, which I know is hard to come by. We were able to keep Homecoming, which I know is hard to come by. We still got a morning Tusker House reservation, which means that we'll be able to go into Animal Kingdom early to do that. And there's a couple more, but it remains to be seen whether we'll keep some of them, because we had a handful of reservations on the monorail loop and at Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge that don't seem like they'd be very practical any longer if we're going to be staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge and Saratoga, because we're not going to be in the area. So I'm not sure that we'll want to travel all the way to the Grand Floridian just for the Grand Floridian Cafe. I don't know. I still need to look into a lot of this. We've literally just changed everything. So yeah, that's our trip announcement. I wish I was happier about it, but at the end of the day, I do think that we still get to go, and that's what's important, because I've seen so many people have to cancel trips entirely or postpone them a year, and I've struggled with myself feeling bad about potentially having to cancel and then getting mad at myself for like first world problems, being upset about this. But this is my chance to see my family as well, and I think that's what's been the most difficult part of it, because I live here in Scotland and they live in the States, and I'm not scheduled to go home anytime this year before Christmas, so our time to see each other was going to be in Orlando. So thankfully we have been able to reschedule, and we'll be meeting up in July, and it'll be my mom's birthday. So we were meant to go over Mother's Day, and now we'll be there over my mom's birthday, so at least she gets something out of it. And I think a birthday trip is better as well. It's gonna be hot, that's the other thing. So we had a lot of different activities planned and a lot of like full park days that I don't think we'll be doing anymore. So again, that remains to be seen. As we get closer to the trip, I will post like a full trip announcement video with like the details and the things that I've come up with. But right now, all we've done is gone in and we've moved the room from May to July. I still have to go in and switch a lot of our flights. So all of the airlines have been super nice in the fact that they are waiving cancellation and change fees, but some of them are being really sneaky as well. So I found out the other day when I moved my British Airways flight from Edinburgh to London that when I went on the page and tried to just change the flight, it charged me £71 for the difference in fare, which I stupidly paid. And then I actually went and I looked independently, and the flight is the exact same price that I paid for it when I bought it last September. So I am currently in the process of trying to make a complaint to BA, because I think a lot of the airlines are saying, okay, we'll waive our cancellation or change fee, but then they're sneaky including it in other fees. And I've noticed this with a couple different airlines. When you try and amend your flight, they charge you a lot more, even though the flight price is actually the same or not very noticeably different from the price you already paid. So yeah, that's my current battle. That's what I'll be doing. But hopefully everything will go to plan. Hopefully travel will resume before the end of July. I'm still hesitant about that. We realize that booking with budget airlines, especially for my mom and my sister in the States, is still risky because those airlines might go under. But there's nothing we can do for now besides hope. If we don't get to go in July, those points will basically be forfeited, because I can't imagine there's anybody out there that wants to rent in these uncertain times. So we've given it our best shot. It was really hard to cancel. It was going to be our first trip home as a family, and we were going to be staying at our home resort, which we haven't stayed at since 2011, I believe. So not being able to stay at Copper Creek was kind of a sad one, but we do feel very fortunate that we'll still be able to go if that ends up being the case. Yeah, I don't have much else to say on the matter. I'll keep you guys updated on Instagram, which I'll just link down below. I wish this was a happier video, but like I said, I am still very happy that we get to go. It's just a mix of emotions at the moment with all the uncertainties going on. We could have waited. We could have, and we could have tried to see whether we could go in May, but I really didn't see it happening, and the longer we wait, the more rooms get taken off the market and the less availability we would have to use our points, which was kind of the biggest thing here. So yeah, I'm probably rambling at this point. This was, like I said, a video I didn't want to have to make because I didn't want to have to reschedule this trip that I've been looking for since last July. It's been, yeah, we booked at the end of June last year, so it has been a full 11 months that I have been planning where we would stay at the 11-month mark and the 7-month mark, planning dining reservations. We just planned our fast pass the other day, and I got all the fast passes I wanted, so now we're going back into that uncertainty once I move our tickets of whether we'll get the fast passes that we want in July. I spent so much time making Excel spreadsheets and just planning what we would do and where we would go, and I was just starting to plan my outfits, which is crazy, but it's just like fun for me to get on there and plan these trips. So yeah, I just feel like that's all being thrown out, which is a bummer, but there's bigger issues, and this is a minor one, and for the most part this has been recovered as best as possible. So if you've watched this far, thank you so much. I hope this wasn't a big downer. I will be at Disney in July, and that is what will hopefully be getting me through this whole quarantine, because I'm very bored, very stressed, very lonely, but doing the best I can to stay positive. And at least now I have a whole nother trip to plan. So we've got some dining reservations, but there's definitely a lot of logistics to get back in and get to doing. So like I said, if you've watched it this far, thank you so much. There will be more exciting videos coming up in the future about trip announcements, and then the vlog from that trip, and possibly some other trips as well, pending the world doesn't blow up first. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does mean the world to me when you do, because that means that you're watching my channel and that the videos that I'm putting out are worthwhile to you. So thank you for that, and I hope that you are taking this isolation seriously. I hope that you're quarantining to the best of your ability and minimizing social contact. And above all, I hope that you're staying sane, staying healthy, and staying safe. Bye.